All right, so we are back hitting the trail. Just finished up chicken corners this morning over in Moab. We are now here, San Rafael Swell, a little northwest of Moab. Getting aired down right now. Going to be hitting the trail. We're at Black Dragon Wash is where we're starting out here. It's a trail Joe and I have already done. We did last year. We were out here, so we're going to start there again. It is getting a little late in the afternoon. It's about 5:30 in the evening, so we're gonna try to get the trail through Black Dragon and then probably find a campsite, find somewhere to stay tonight. So we will pick it up there. Looking forward to a beautiful evening. Still great weather today and getting out into those mountains there.
The San Rafael Swell consists of approximately 3,000 square miles of some of Utah's most rugged and beautiful terrain. It is a geologic wonder consisting of a giant dome of shale, sandstone, and limestone that was thrust upwards from the Earth's crust. Over time, these formations have been eroded and shaped by wind and water to create some of Utah's most varied landscapes, including valleys, canyons, gorges, mesas, buttes, and badlands. While ironically being divided in half by Interstate 70, the swell itself is sparsely traveled. It is little known by tourists and overshadowed by Utah's famous national parks. This being said, the area is an outdoor recreation paradise for those looking to get away from the crowds of people flocking to the more well-known areas of the state. If you do plan on entering this vast playground, I would highly recommend being prepared for self-reliance, as the area is remote, desolate, and often not covered by any type of cell service. Entering the Black Dragon Wash Canyon instantly transports you to a landscape that seems to have been forgotten by time. Soaring sandstone cliffs quickly rise out of the barren landscape, engulfing the narrow trail. This section of the trail is not too technically difficult, but there are some large boulders and washed-out ruts to avoid as you traverse through the sandy wash bottom. The route follows through the narrow canyon, and trail conditions can change dramatically by seasonal rains or flash floods. Always remember to keep an eye on the weather while traveling through canyon country, as even far-off rainstorms can instantly create flash floods miles downstream. Fortunately, we had nothing but blue skies overhead this afternoon. While seemingly void of all modern civilization, the canyon has a story to tell of the ancient peoples who once called this place home. The canyon is home to a pictograph panel attributed to the peoples of the ancient Barrier Canyon culture. Accompanying this are surrounding petroglyphs, which are stylistically attributed to the ancient Fremont culture. The panel consists of several figures that when combined appear to create a dragon-like image, thus giving the canyon and the trail its name. Once we exited the canyon, we began looking for a place to make camp for the night. With very few people camping and traveling through this area, there is no difficulty in finding a place to stay. The only limiting factor is trying to decide what you want your morning view to consist of. We were fortunate to find this large flat area on top of a small hill that overlooked much of the surrounding area. After setting up camp and making dinner, we enjoyed our time by the fire as we watched the sun slowly set behind the distant mesas and let the silent emptiness of the night surround us. There are hundreds of miles of trail located throughout the San Rafael Swell. For this trip, we used a combination of our favorite trail apps to research the routes we wanted to take, while also leaning on our past experience from the area. Many of the trails are open dirt roads and sandy washes, which make for a fast and fun driving experience. Throughout the swell, you'll encounter various elements of years gone by. Mining was very active in this area, from the late 1800s all the way through the 1950s. In fact, many of the trails and roads in this area were created for the mining industry. I always find it fascinating to find old abandoned cars or machinery in areas where you would least expect it, what seems like miles and miles from anywhere accessible to the average vehicle. I can't help but try to imagine what the circumstances behind leaving your vehicle out in the middle of a seemingly barren wasteland must have been, or wonder what the story of the owners of these vehicles may have told. While not exactly what we may deem as historical, they do add another layer to the story and the history of this area. Several of the trails cross over or under Interstate 70 as it travels east to west, dividing the San Rafael Swell into northern and southern halves. Some of the trails simply cross over the actual highway, while others have these narrow tunnels constructed to get to the other side. This tunnel is actually one of the wider ones, while others cause you to stop and do a double check with the tape measure prior to attempting to traverse through. The landscape within the swell varies greatly, especially between the northern and southern halves. As we made our way south, we entered an area known as Redd's Canyon Wilderness. This area alone consists of over 17,000 acres of bright red sandstone formations and sprawling vistas. Like other areas in the swell, this area too has many historical sites from ancient civilizations all the way to 20th century mining operations. Wildlife is abundant, including desert bighorn sheep that live among the crags of the rugged landscape. Bald eagles, peregrine falcons, golden eagles, red-tailed hawks, and prairie falcons also call the skies of this wilderness area home. This was one of the areas in which we had not previously visited, and after exploring it on this trip, I can firmly say that we will make it a priority to visit it each time that we come through the area.
So we've been going down Redd's Canyon here in the San Rafael Swell. We kind of decided to come off this little offshoot off the main canyon trail, do a little side quest, and we came back into this big bowl. It's really beautiful, but we had no idea what we'd find back here. And we have all this old mining outfits that looks like, thinking maybe uranium, I think was pretty popular in this area, so I don't know if anybody knows kind of what kind of mining may have been done around here, but there's a couple old cabins. Let me flip the camera around here. We got an old cabin here, and you can see the views back in this area. I mean, what it would be like to work and mine back here. Gosh. So yeah, we just happened to hop upon this area and drive back here. There's a old car down in what would be a dry stream bed or a wash down there. But again, just a beautiful area back here. So I think we're gonna walk around and explore kind of what they were doing back here. Oh, still got a kitchen. Wallpaper choice is interesting.
Upon further investigating the mining site, which included reading the rather large sign detailing the activities of this area, we determined that this was the site of the former Lucky Strike mine. The Lucky Strike mine began in December of 1949 when 4 men from a nearby town staked 3 claims at the site after discovering the yellow bands of uranium ore that they had been searching for. After constructing a road to the site and several structures for housing and mining operations, the site operated with a small number of miners up until 1965. After leaving the mining site, we decided to call it a day on the trail and began to look for a campsite. We came upon another canyon just down the road where we decided to stop for the afternoon and catch some rest and a break from the heat under a couple of the few cedar trees in the area. If you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching and following along with us. If you can, please like and subscribe to the channel. Part 3 of our Utah series will be coming out soon.